Hello, 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 everyone. I hope that you are having a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Yay! And guess what? I forgot my wine. I totally forgot it, but it's all good because we are going to have a good time anyway. All right. So, I missed you guys last week. I really did. And I just missed you guys. That's really what it all is all about. I don't have anything else to say but the fact that I missed you guys last week. And I am so happy to be back on again this week for Wind Down Wednesdays with your girl Jovita. So I'm very, very excited, you guys. Hey, we have been like just enjoying Black History Month all month long. I know we still got more days to go in the month of February, but let's continue to celebrate Black excellence because we are excellent. We have contributed to society. We have done some amazing things that should always be highlighted, not only in February, but throughout the year, because we have contributed a lot to history. So let me introduce myself to those who may not know me. I am Jovita, and I help boss women go from feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and alone to giving herself permission to live a harmonious life, to giving herself permission to be free, just to giving herself permission to just be herself and just enjoy life as it is and not put too much pressure on herself as we try to overcome this virtual world. It's been almost a year. I don't know about you guys, but I look back today and I was like, wow, it's almost a year since I was actually told to start working from home. Now I'm back, but I'm just saying it's been a year. So it's just amazing what a year could do. And hopefully you utilize the time that you had to kind of make some forward progress in your lives. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into tonight's topic. Y'all, sometimes I think I can sing, but I know I can't. But anyway, tonight's topic, you guys, is why is it so uncomfortable to talk about sexuality? I have noticed this like just throughout, just in my entire journey of life, just about, but just in my adult journey, that people are uncomfortable. Even to today, people are just uncomfortable. Hey, Margie, very, very uncomfortable talking about sexuality. And I always try to understand why. And I think the older I get, the more I realize that I have never really been that uncomfortable talking about sexuality, but there are a lot of people who are. And I think sometimes we don't know, we kind of make our own definition of sexuality. So let me read you guys my definition of sexuality, and I also read you the dictionary version of sexuality. So my version, my definition, Jovita's definition of sexuality is: sexuality means to truly embrace the fact that you are a sexual being who wants, needs, and desires to be nurtured mentally, physically, emotionally, and sexually. That's my definition of it. Now, here is dictionary.com's definition of sexuality. And it defines it as a sexual character, like a sexual characteristic, basically, possession of the structural and functional traits of sex. So that's the dictionary version of it. And you can come up with your own version. Just make sure that it makes sense to you. You have to define sexuality as it relates to you and what it means to you. Because we all look at it differently and we all either get nervous or just comfortable talking about it. I think some people think that when you talk about your sexuality that you're putting your business all out there and stuff like that, but no, you're talking on a relatable term because we are humans, and as human beings we are sexual beings, and we have to embrace that fact. And a lot of us just don't think of it like that. We have to change the way we think about how we view sexuality. So I believe, because I thought about this, you guys, just based off of just talking to people, doing my research and all of that, I actually thought a lot about a lot of this stuff. And I believe that people are uncomfortable talking about their sexuality because people don't feel safe. They lack trust. And so, if you're in an environment where you don't feel safe and you don't trust the people around you, you are not going to be vulnerable and you're not going to open up to anybody. You're going to stay all bottled up within yourself. So, I think, in those times, we should actually, not we, but those folks who are, feeling that way, not feeling safe and lack of trust, I think you should try to learn to trust more, learn to feel safe, surround yourself with people who you feel safe around, who you can trust. Because sometimes when you open the door to these types of conversation, you can go deeper and deeper and deeper because it could be some deep seated issues around the reason why you're uncomfortable and you don't feel safe. There could be a number of things, and I'm not even going to name them here, but just think about it. It's so many things that we go through in the world today, so many things that we've gone through, like growing up as we were younger. Some people have been molested, raped, sexually abused, whatever you want to call it. And so they don't trust anybody. They don't feel safe. So it's very important that you create an environment where you feel safe and that you can trust those folks in that environment. Because I believe that's one of the reasons why people are uncomfortable talking about their sexuality. Another reason that people are uncomfortable talking about sexuality is that people feel as though they will be judged. And and some people say, oh no, I'm not judgy, or whatever the case may be. And sometimes you may have a strong opinion about a lot of stuff. However, that can keep people from being open and honest about talking about their sexuality. That stops people from feeling safe because they feel as though they're gonna be judged. They feel as though, like, well, if I say this, they're gonna think about me like this. As if we really need to care about what others think, because ultimately at the end of the day, it's our decision on whatever it is we choose to do and how we choose to live our lives. So you can't let other people dictate it. However, I do understand that some people feel as though they won't open up because they feel like they're going to be judged. But I say, don't take that away from the people you're around, because if you trust these people and you feel like you're in a safe environment, then you should feel free to say whatever it is that you have to say about your sexuality, and that they won't judge you. They won't judge you at all. And like I told you guys, I have to repeat that definition of sexuality because I do think people think of it differently, but it's your sexual character. It's not your sexual orientation. What if you're heterosexual, homosexual, or anything like that. Your sexuality is you. It's all about you. Like I said before, it means to truly embrace the fact that you are a sexual being who has wants, needs, and desires. That's simply put how I see it and how I think we need to think about it. Because the word, if you look it up, it doesn't say any of those other things. It basically says sexual character, possession of the structural and functional traits of sex. So we have to change our mindset of what we think about sexuality. That way we won't feel judged when we do speak about our own sexuality. Also, another reason why I think people are uncomfortable talking about their sexuality is that people aren't open-minded about the topic at all. Like, they just don't want to hear it, or they always have this strong opinion of this, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be doing this, and all of that. But at the end of the day, why? Why can't you have an open and honest discussion about anything, including your sexuality? You should be having all kinds of conversations like that. And honestly, people who are in relationships, married, and all of that, you guys should be open and honest and communicating this all with your partners, like with your spouses. You just need to be doing it. That should be something that is routine for you guys. You can reassess it every month, however, whatever the timeline is, because it's important as your finances. So and that's my belief. It is just as important as your finances, because those things can make or break a marriage. So you need to openly communicate that. Be open-minded too about what the other person is feeling, and don't judge them. because it may not be something you may do, but just listen and be open and just hear them out, because you never know. They might have an idea that you might want to try. I don't know, but that just may be what it is, right? And one more other things, excuse me. Another thing that makes people uncomfortable is the way we were brought up. Simply put, the way we were brought up. We didn't have these types of conversations growing up. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but I know I didn't have these types of conversations growing up. So I know there are people out there like me who they just never had these conversations growing up. So they were afraid, or, they were told this, you don't have these types of conversations. That's not what you do. That is so disrespectful to talk like that. And you're not even being disrespectful. You're being inquisitive. You have questions. That's what people do. If you want to know something, you ask questions so you can find the answers to them. And not no BS answers either. You want to find real answers. So I believe that those are just kind of the reasons why people are uncomfortable talking about their sexuality. And I'll repeat them again for those of you who didn't hear me in the back. I'm just playing. But, people are uncomfortable because they don't feel safe. They lack trust of the others around them. They feel as though they will be judged. They aren't open-minded. And the way we were brought up. Those are just some of the reasons why I think people are uncomfortable. And I know some of you may have some other reasons that I have not mentioned. So why don't you just put it in the comments below so we can have a discussion about this, an open and honest discussion. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no harm in it. We are just trying to educate each other, because what I may learn something from you, you may learn something from me, you may learn something from another friend of mine, you may learn something from another guest of mine. You just may learn a whole lot. Just be open to the possibility of there are other answers out there. There are other things. Let's unlearn some of the things we were taught and just embrace the fact that we are human, and human beings are sexual beings. So that's all I have for you guys today. But I also wanted to personally invite each and every one of you to my event, Permission to Be Free, Permission to Be Me. It will be held on March 20th. You can actually register for it. Excuse me, guys. My cough is coming back. But you can actually register for it at eventbrite.com and just search Permission to Be Free, Permission to Be Me. It'll show up. Register for it. I'm only taking a small amount of people, COVID protocols, but get your seat, register early, get your tickets, because it's going to be a really, really good time. We are going to just talk about those things that women just aren't talking about. So be on the lookout for some other things that's coming from me. I am excited. And like I said, I use my 2020 to just rebuild and just come on out the box with a lot of things for you guys to just help everyone have the conversation, help everyone just be free, to give yourself permission to be free, permission to be me. Thank you guys. And I will see you next week for Wind Down Wednesdays with Jovita. Bye.